Welcome back, YouTubers. Another episode of the Saturn, 03 Saturn V6 3.0, as you can see. I managed to solve the problem with the link codes. Let's see which ones are they. Okay, so we had that P0174 and P0171. All right, so this codes, this car was having, also it needed a new map sensor. That's new. And after that got fixed, this problem still existed. And the way I fixed this was to, I think the shop, they also changed the intake manifold gaskets. They changed those, but that wasn't the problem. The problem was here. In my case, it was here. You have to take this top cover off, and inside there's plantium, I forgot the word for it, but it's kind of like a PCV valve system. That's what I think it is. That's what I would call it, but it's got a different name, and it's under here, this cover. You don't have to remove this cover. You can leave that there because it has nothing to do with this. You only take this off when you're gonna remove the intake manifold to change the, you know, like your valve covers. You have to take this stupid thing because they made it like this. This doesn't really have to be here. It may have a purpose, but I really don't think it's necessary. It's just to block it, so you have to completely take it off when you're changing the valve cover and changing your coils and spark plugs. You know, and the more times you take something apart, something's gonna break. More things have to be replaced. They also have like a valve runners inside. I can't remember if I took a video of it or not. And this controls that. This controls those flappers inside, so runners or something. I forgot what the word is for it. So it's got two. But anyway, let's get to the episode why we're here today. But I did wanted to share that that's how I was able to fix my codes. So I tighten them up, loosen them up, clean it, put it back in, give it an extra, torque, tight it just a little better. And see, so that took care of those codes. Now we have this vehicle also around the same time. This code came up, the 970, and the 700 is because of the 970. So down there, that yellow color thing down there is the transmission filler. I think it's getting bigger. There we go. It's getting, it kind of wants to get it, but so anyway, that's the filler for the transmission. And what happened is that this vehicle, today's vehicles, they tell them that the transmissions are unserviceable, that they'll last for a lifetime, yada yada yada. But that's I believe that came from German cars, that they don't drive as much as we do here in America. And so that's a problem. So what I did is went underneath. Well, actually, what I did first is actually fill it up, check the levels, and after I did that, I came here and I'm drain the oil. All right, there's the plug right there. It's the big one. Now there's other videos out there about this. This did not have to change any gaskets. Gaskets on filters. I'm sorry, filters. There's no filter for this. Okay, there's no filters. And the proper way, I would say, is if someone can just hook up to the transmission and do the system flush, like where they hook up the line to a machine, and one side sucks, and one side, how do you call it? On one side the fluid comes out, and on the other side the fluid goes in. That's a safer, cleaner way to say it, or probably the proper way to say it. So it's that's the way that it should be done. But a lot of people are saying they don't recommend it because the clutches particles inside were probably helping your transmission last longer. Now, because those have been clean, you could have transmission problems. So anyway, I flushed it. But before I did flush it, I put I checked the level and it was low. So I filled it to the proper level, drove the vehicle around, and the vehicle now shifted properly. And when vehicles are low on fluid, and this goes way back, they don't run properly. The torque converter doesn't have fluid to pump around. Therefore, your car runs like it has a bad transmission. Once you check your levels that is proper, then if your car's still running kind of funny, then the second problem I think you have is you have a clogged transmission filter. So you have to drop the pan, flush the fluid. If you can save it that it was new, good. If you can't, then toss it, put a new filter in, make sure everything's good, make sure it's bolted properly, don't over tighten things, fill it up, check the levels, cycle the transmission shifter in a safe manner, of course. And you have to drive this thing for a bit so the new fluid will start to circulate and start cleaning particles in there. The other thing I have done too is to actually remove solenoids that are accessible. Took them out, cleaned them, put them back in, and now the car run fine, run great. And that's the problem sometimes, that the strainers of some vehicles, strainers on those solenoids get clogged up, junked up from I think mostly the clutches. The clutches is what clogs them up. And some don't have really good filters, or they don't have filters, so therefore that's how they get dirty. Because if they put a filter now, the transmission can last longer. Therefore, shops don't make a lot of money because cars are not breaking down. Okay, so you do those things. You clean your solenoids as much as you can, and everything. And if you have a problem, maybe it's just the transmission's just too far gone, and you have to get another one, get a reused one, rebuild, however you want to go about it. That's up to you. I've done it all, from new to rebuild to used, and sometimes the used ones weren't good either, and now I have to take everything apart again and lose more transmission fluid, because you don't want to use the contaminated fluid unless it's really clean, and maybe you run some filters to that somehow that you can get it clean. But sometimes you're just losing more time and money when you could just spend a couple more bucks and either have it rebuilt by a shop and have them worry about any problems that happens with the transmission, or if you do it yourself, now you're if the guy is good, he does a good job, then you don't have to worry about those things. So anyway, that's the second thing I wanted to share with you. Once I did that, this problem was gone. We were thinking about having to get a transmission for this thing. We were thinking about getting going in there and changing the solenoids or the whole pack. Luckily, we didn't have to do any of that. The second thing, now we have to change this reservoir because I can't find a sensor for it. So I already ordered a whole thing, and I'll show a video on that later. All right, that's it for now. I wanted to share my codes here, and then I have my other codes here. And this is by my blue driver. Cost me $100 and change, and it's all fixed now. That's it. Bye.